Now the GPX750R Kawasaki is a great bike for the track. It's a great bike for the street, and I am so glad I have two. And you can watch this whole ride with us in 4K. Adjust your device. Boy, it's starting to look like it's going to be just another spectacular riding day. Today we want to get out on a Green Ninja. I want to pre-flight it, of course, take care of things on the farm, and then basically have the rest of the day for a great ride. But what's always the problem, and it's the problem all year long, whatever bike we want to ride is always in the back of the line. We got to move some bikes around. And my humble collection is basically one bike from every 10-year period that I've been involved in motorcycling, and of course having the two Ninjas, it's better than having one Ninja, that's for sure. And there's only one thing better than having two Ninjas, is if somebody gives you a third one. Anyway, I always like to compare the different progress that they made with motorcycles. Here the R1 is an 09, and 20 years later, after the Kawasaki Ninja, the two bikes on each side are both 09s. But that green bike, there's something old school about that bike. It's gritty with that little 16-inch front wheel. It turns in quick. The brakes are actually better than you would think they are, and it's just fun to ride. And I enjoy keeping it clean, a little bit of over-maintaining it, keeping that MUZZY muffler polished is always a little labor of love, and checking the air in the tires, of course, every time I ride the bike. All the little maintenance that goes into it, it just gives you a level of comfort when you're out on the road riding, me anyway. And feeding all the fish, I watered the plants in, had my extra cup of coffee with Karen under the umbrella, and just admiring the beauty of that motorcycle. And I really think it is a beautiful motorcycle. And the fish agree. They agree if I feed them. And the thing that makes it all worthwhile, the Valentine radar detector. Now, when I got the first one, it was exclusively a track bike, and I liked it so much. Well, like it is not the right word. Hey, look at this tree that fell down here. I liked the first bike so much, I had to have another one. And Luciano found this one in the middle of Patterson. We got it in the middle of the winter, and now I'm lucky I have two. And the restoration was about a 600-hour restoration, and I took the best parts from both bikes and made this bike, which is exclusively a street bike. And being honest, over the years, I've come to love it even more than when I first restored it. It kind of grows on you. It is such a user-friendly motorcycle. And there's so many things about this bike to like. Number one, it's got a very comfortable seat. It fits me. The ergonomics fit me well. It's comfortable to ride. And the radar detector, of course, ensures that it's even more fun to ride, or that you're not behind bars or something. But anyway, beside the point, the restoration that I did, I got an extra seat. I made a lower seat, but I went back and I liked the original, the seat that came with the bike. I liked that the best, and the lower seat I just kept on the track bike. I've made risers for the bars of different heights, and of course, all the little details on this bike, just endless little details. course, when you have two bikes, the good thing is you have a spare set of wheels. And I have a set of green wheels that match the green, the Camaro green. And I like to rotate them out every time I change the tires. It just makes the tire changing a little more convenient. Just one little detail thing when you have two bikes the same. And the polished swinging arm, still one of the best viewed videos on my channel, polishing that swing arm. But the question everybody asks, in the middle of the winter when you're freezing and there's parts all over the garage and you're painting things and buffing and polishing, somebody will come over to the shop and say, is it worth all that work to do that? Isn't it easier just to buy a new bike? Well, it probably is, to be honest. But I've enjoyed the restorations of all the motorcycles, and I've enjoyed this one maybe more than the others. And over the years, I've had several, even a track day muffler on this bike that was really, really loud, but I love the MUZZY. The MUZZY is quiet through town, and when you go through the gears or once you get out in the back roads, that MUZZY, I don't know, to me, it sounds like an Indy car. And this one has got 39,000 miles on it, and that motor is absolutely bulletproof. I'm amazed how well those Ninja motors are made. And since the day of installing a quick shifter on the MT-09, I have looked for a quick shifter for this bike. I have yet to find one. And if anybody out there does know who makes one and where I can get one, that may be one of my winter projects. I'd love to have a quick shifter on this bike. But then maybe it would be a little bit less old school. And I kind of like the idea that this bike is so old school. It really is, and it's got a one-of-a-kind paint job, and it definitely always stands out in a crowd. And the best part of all is when you do a thorough restoration, you know everything is the way it's supposed to be. It is a comfort level knowing that all the bolts are tight, the engine is solid, and it's ready to roll. And another advantage of having two bikes exactly the same or very similar is things like there was a time when I needed to diagnose an electrical problem with the starter with this bike, and I just took the parts off the other bike one by one until we found the bad unit and then replaced the unit on the other bike. And Luciano was really good about it. I mean, he's good with the electronic stuff, and when we did that together, he gave me a good education in how to diagnose electrical problems, which I've put to good use on other restorations and on other things. And I want to thank him again. He did a lot of work on this bike before he actually gave me this bike. And there is just something every time you go through the gears on this bike. It just had that MUZZY muffler. I don't know what it is. It is a very captivating bike, and it draws you in. You just keep wanting to have some open road ahead of you and going right through all the gears. And about halfway through this ride, it just got super hot. And I was cooking, and I decided to make this a little bit shorter than I normally do and get back to the farm, and actually the farm, get back to some air conditioning. I'm cooked like a lobster. The second half of the ride, they put me back in the oven and turned the heat up. Actually, it was such a nice day, though.
Very cool.
Turn that air conditioning on. Iced tea. Iced tea. Oh man, did it get hot at the end of this ride. It got plenty hot at the second half of this ride, but boy, was it worth it. What a beautiful day this turned out to be. I hope you're at work in a nice air-conditioned room, having a nice latte or something, and checking out to ride with us. It was hot. The second half of the ride was hot. And this is the bike. You just never get sick of it. I'm so glad I got this in my collection, and I'm so glad I have two of them. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button if you did, and thank you so much for watching.